What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, another installment of the WarCraft 3 Heroes Hearth Fight Night. My name is Kendric, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to an absolute superstar match today, alongside my wingman Grubby. How are you doing, my friend? Oh, you muted! You're still muted!
Yeah, good to be here. Feeling good. Nice background, dude.
Saved. You too. I like the good old buff green grunt right behind you.
It's getting hard to tell the difference between him and me, isn't it?
It's true. I mean, those workouts, they seem to pay off. Knoff has had a lot of praise for you when I met him last in the gym.
Oh, okay. How about you? How is your workout going? He's taking you under his personal wing.
A little bit too personal sometimes, if you ask me.
No. You mean too intense, yeah?
It's good, though. He really knows what he's doing, and he's relentless, he's merciless, just like he is with his WarCraft 3 opponents. I like it, though. I like it. I think that's really good. I even rewarded him by ordering 2 of his T-shirts lately. However, they haven't yet arrived, otherwise you would see me wear one of them representing Camp Knoff. I'm not sure what takes them so long. I'm not sure where they were being shipped from, but it's pretty cool. Is there a chance of seeing a Grubby T-shirt anytime soon? Because so many people have had their own T-shirt now.
Yeah, I saw. I mean, I'm looking into the options. Let's say. How about Kendrick shirts?
Hey, Knoff, hit me up. I would love to be there. Maybe we could do a fight night T-shirt with both of us on it.
Yeah. Let's talk to Heroes Hearth.
Yeah.
But we got a cool match coming up here, ladies and gents. We've got VortiX versus Sonik. VortiX from Spain, Sonik from Ukraine. It is going to be a best of 7 for a total of $300 of prize money. Lion's share to the winner, obviously. And VortiX has been the most merciless to our broadcast schedule.
Yes.
1 hour series is what he has been doing. He is currently 4-0 against Spiral and Longwalk from 2 different continents in the world. Now he will deal with Sonik. Can he go 12-0? It would probably be a record that will never, ever be outdone. Or will he lose this time or win by a smaller margin? We shall see.
Yeah, we decided to go for a rematch between the races, if you will. Long Walk 2 weeks ago, he didn't really stand a chance against VortiX, who is quite a mystery, to be honest, because we thought that he would dedicate himself fully now to WarCraft 3. He mentioned that he no longer is obligated by university and any other real-life stuff that he has going on. So we thought he would be committing fully, but he recently told us that he still needs that tiny little extra bit of motivation to really get back on the grind, which he will be doing soon because of DreamHack tournaments looming in the near future. So now we have Sonik, definitely a beast, quite literally, the flamboyant flamingo of the WarCraft 3 scene, I think is a good term. And he is quite an opponent, isn't he, Grubby?
Yeah, and he's been upping his shape quite a bit recently. I think he has been motivated by those announcements of the DreamHack tournament, the ESL tournaments, and the various weekly opportunities. A hardworking player that is laddering more these days on W3 champions as well. I've been running into him a lot myself as well, and it was basically for the last year he had been mostly beating me pretty much every time. Mm-hmm. And then in the last 2 months or so, or the last month, I suddenly got a really good record against him, like 8 wins, 2 losses. Then he switched to Warden first, which is almost unheard of in the Orc Nightelf. And he's been kicking my behind again. And now we've nearly equalized in this season's ladder score. And right before this match, I saw he was in a ladder game. He was again playing Warden against an Orc and winning in a dominating fashion. So he is a very aggressive player. He does have a lot of patterns to his play, habits, some bad, some good, but he does switch up his style when required. Yeah. So we could be seeing a number of different styles if it is needed against VortiX as well.
And of course, Sonik is known very well for his aggression, for his very straight-up heads-on play. And the Warden is an interesting hero that you mentioned, Grubby. We see her a lot more by many more players, different players. For the longest time in Europe, we had players like Foggy, really just representing her more than anyone else. In Asia, Law Light, who kind of popularized her throughout Korea and China. And Sonik against orcs seems to be playing it a little bit more. Oh, did we just lose Grubby? Oh, did we have a disconnect? Maybe. Let's see. I should be back.
Sorry, yeah.
No worries.
I was just giving VortiX a call. I didn't realize it was going to stop our call. Sorry. I gave him a call because he didn't respond yet. Apologies. Just trying to get the match started.
Yeah. Yeah, VortiX said that he might arrive a few minutes late. I'm just a little bit worried that he hasn't typed anything in our group. So
Same.
Let's see. Did we ever have someone not showing up? I think Hitman was the closest one, right? But he showed up like 20 minutes late.
Yeah, like seconds before we were going to default off him.
Yep. Yeah, Warden, you even see her against Undead a couple of times lately. Still not the standard, obviously, but every now and then she sneaks through.
I've created a new game name. Hopefully everyone can join. Sonik had some trouble seeing our game, so...
Yeah, same for me. I didn't see it either, so I had to go through the friends list.
Ah. Oh, well, that's normal because I created a private game. I will remake... Yeah. So you can actually make a private game in WarCraft Reforged right now, and you can give it a name, and even when people try to join with that name, they can't find it. So
that, of course, defeats the purpose. Now, Grubby, you mentioned this. So far, 8-0 for VortiX. He dismantled Spiral and absolutely crushed Longwalk last time. Now, do you think that despite his lack of preparation and maybe a lack of motivation, like he admitted, he can take down a player like Sonik 4-0?
I think it will be very tough. I think it's more likely to end up in... I think had VortiX prepared, I think there is a 50-50. Now I think VortiX has a small disadvantage because Sonik is practicing a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think Sonik does have a small lead here. VortiX could still do it. He has really good mechanics.
Yeah.
He is a very cerebral player, so he will see Sonic's aggression and maybe come up with some ways to abuse it. Undead can play various kinds of strats: rush, macro, cheese. They have a lot of options.
He's shown it last time. Every game was a different strategy.
Yeah. That's true. He went Death Knight solo twice, once with Ghoul Rush, once with Mass Gargs. He did Death Knight Naga once, and
Fast Expansion.
Yeah, Fast Expo once.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. VortiX is one of those players that doesn't seem to need a lot of preparation or a lot of practice, because he's just so good at the game, and his game sense is just so well established, I think you could say. Yeah, we're waiting for VortiX though, guys. Bear with us here. Waiting for him still. The first match will be taking place on Concealed Hill. And Grubby, by the way, let me congratulate you for an astounding and super entertaining show match against Happy.
Oh, thank you.
It was absolutely amazing, man. I watched it, and I had it open on my second monitor, and as time went by, and as the first game closed, and I looked, it switched on my main monitor.
Cool. Yeah, it's I was pretty stressed about the show match against Happy, but then the day or two before, and the day itself, it started to become more comfortable and familiar again. My old training, plus I think a little bit of maturity, because I was able to do a better mental preparation than sometimes in the past. Like remember to relax and don't get so wound up, and but it was really cool series. When I think about it too hard, sometimes I get disappointed that I didn't get the victory. But at the same time, it almost feels like one when you see how the Warcraft 3 community came together to enjoy this match. And and then it was so close.
Did you ever did you talk to Happy after the match? Like, did you discuss what happened there, or was it just like, everyone parted ways and practiced and kept doing their thing?
Well, it reminds me of this. There were these two grandmaster players in chess decades ago, and they didn't get along well. but they were the only two players that played the game at such a high level. And even though they didn't like each other, they still ended up discussing the match for hours afterwards because they both had such a desire for intellectual discourse about the game. So that was pretty cool. I don't remember the names of these two players. I would also find it interesting to speak to anyone at a high level about WarCraft 3, but because Happy doesn't actually do a lot of chatting, so I don't try. Right. He's not really the chatting kind of person.
And we don't need chatting kind of persons in here, guys. We don't need them here. We need the playing type of persons. And Sonik is here. Vortex has just arrived. Looks like he was stuck in traffic a little bit here, but we're now ready to roll. Undead versus Nightelf. Sonik versus Vortex, Spain, Ukraine. Do you dare predict a winner here, Grubby?
I dare to answer that question after the first map. It really depends what kind of form people bring to the match. What kind of form they bring to the match. I'm just excited. I'm just happy that we're going to be able to watch it, and we're going to be able to learn together with the viewer as we dissect this game and cast it, what shape the players are in and what we're going to see.
And of course, guys, if you want to check out more Warcraft 3 on the channel, be it on Twitch, be it on YouTube, you can follow us here. You can check us out on YouTube as well. Heroes Hearth, Warcraft 3. We have a bunch of cool formats on the channel. Grubby has recently released a new guide that tackles everything you need to know about experience and how you can acquire it and how you can best use it and get it in Warcraft 3. So check us out there. And of course, also say hello to our sponsors, Juked.gg, your favorite esports portal, whether it's Dota, MOBAs in general, FPS, Warcraft 3, or other RTS that you prefer. You can all find it there in one compact browser source. It's really nice, and they've been a good friend of the show for several months now, so feel free to give them a shout out. Anyways, guys, the races are locked in, the players are ready, and you can hear the tick down, and we are ready to go. Concealed Hill. Vortex, man. I'm a little bit concerned now. I think he's, he literally said the subway was little bit late, stuck in public traffic and public transport. I'm not sure if he got any preparation going, so he's just coming into this game ice cold.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I've seen that before. There's just this one story I remember that was just incredible. This Korean player called Showtime, where he literally just sat down, didn't warm up, didn't do the settings. This was in 2003 or 2004 actually. He didn't do no preparation. He was just chatting away with his friends, sat down, and then he just owned. So it is possible. Yeah. If you do mental prep, even if people can't see it in your face, if you're on the subway home and you keep thinking about it, and you can even do a ghost typing on your keyboard, just in the air, as you go through the motions of thinking, I'm pressing this key, I'm pressing that one. If you're mentally there, you absolutely can prepare for a match and have a strong mental warming up. And Vortex, like I said, he's a very smart player. He could do that. He knew this match was coming up. What else are you going to do in the subway? So let's see. I wouldn't put it past him to think that he is ready for this. Kendric, we're going to see a Warden.
Yes, the Warden. We've teased a little bit before the match started that Sonik in particular is a big fan of that hero, even against Undead, even against orcs. We've mentioned it before. So yeah, what can he do? The map certainly is a very interesting one for the Warden. You have a healing fountain, of course, left and right. So if your Warden harass goes south a little bit, then you can heal at the fountains, which is quite handy. But yeah, is there a special reason why he picked it here on Concealed Hill, do you think, Grubby? Or is he just so confident in his Warden abilities that he picks it no matter what?
I find it interesting because there's a pro and a con to Warden on this map. It is one of two Nightelf heroes available to Sonik that can hide at the fountain, naturally, without a Cloak of Shadows. So that means fountain control. If a Warden and a Death Knight run to the fountain, the Warden can wake up the creeps. The Death Knight can't heal there. She can hide and keep healing there. So in terms of attrition, damaging one another, she can come out ahead in using that resource on the map. At the same time, if his goal is attrition, to slowly whittle away at the Death Knight until it drops too low in order to be a force to be reckoned with on the map, the fountain is a resource for the Death Knight. He can heal there at some point. It's never for free. Essentially, it doesn't cost gold, but there is an opportunity cost. Oh, a very sweaty detonate, just about getting those two skeletons. Yeah, Death Knight can heal there. It's never totally for free, though. Mostly it's a surprise. You would expect Demon Hunter Naga here. And look, the Death Knight low from creeping, gonna take a Shadow Strike. That's not gonna kill him, but it may force an Nerubian Tower. It's gonna force adjustments, surrounds, actions, Lumber Ghoul pulled. He doesn't even get the Nerubian. That's how comfortable he is about this.
Yeah, a little bit greedy or just sheer confidence. Whatever it is that VortiX feels right now, he doesn't invest any additional resources into a Nerubian Tower. And the timing by Sonik was really good. Could have been a little bit better if he had arrived a couple of seconds early with the creep still alive. But anyways, it's really good. He contains the undead. He prevents the Death Knight from scouting, from harassing, stealing creeps, whatever could happen there. And he got level 2 Shadow Strike super early. He even used that on the Acolyte to prevent any sorts of shenanigans from that guy. And he keeps going in. Now gets surrounded though, and that is something that wasn't supposed to happen. Of course, the shop is nearby, but level 2 with a blink gets an easy way out. Has to use a lot of mana though to do that.
Yeah, 50 mana gone for a blink. That's a big win for VortiX. But it should be mentioned that because VortiX didn't want to invest in a Nerubian Tower, he pulled back. Oh, wow, another surround. Blink will be coming back off cooldown in a matter of seconds. It is there already. It's another 50 mana gone. It should be mentioned that VortiX was on a mission with 2 skeletons, 3 ghouls, and a Death Knight to go onto the map. Who knows where? Either to creep or maybe to find the Tree of Life that is now 80% of the way finished.
Yeah.
But because the Warden came into his base and because he had no Nerubian, VortiX pulled back his entire hero and started to creep near here again. And that's exactly the plan for Sonik, isn't it? By having this Warden deal damage, none of it lasting, but all of it keeping VortiX on his own side of the map, his Tree of Life will finish with no issue.
Yeah, and that's great, of course. The fast expansion coming through for the Nightelf player. It is still nighttime, easy peasy, so he can use the cloak here if he wants to. The cloak comes through, and if he only had a Nerubian Tower, that would have been a kill for sure, but he didn't split the army in time. There was no ghoul or no DK there to dish out the killing blow. And yep, Grubby, I think with this Nerubian Tower, if he had invested in it, he could have actually landed a couple more surrounds here. But maybe if that Nerubian Tower had gone through in the first place, Sonik wouldn't have played so aggressively.
Yeah, of course. He would have played it differently. But I think this really defines Sonic's approach to the game. High risk, high reward. Tree of Life is already walking to the natural. He wanted to really cancel that graveyard. He also wanted to pin VortiX in his main for as long as possible. And he will now have an effortless Tree of Life expansion, which will give him Warden 3. It's going to give him... And he even saved TP, you know. He got away with 10 life.
Yeah.
He wanted to save that TP. Now he's going to get level 3 Warden with a lovely item, maybe. I think his favorite would be Pendant of Energy. Claws of Attack plus 9 would be alright. Ring plus 4, not the best, since she already has a lot of armor. It's going to get Ring plus 4.
Oh.
11 armor, but Warden, low health pool, high armor. She is always most vulnerable to nukes. Also because she has no mana burn. So she will continue to be most vulnerable to nukes, which means VortiX would want high-level heroes, DK3, and a Lich, of course. And this DK is already level 3, has a Butsu speed as well, and a parry up, so it's going to be virtually impossible to kill for the Warden.
Yeah, I saw the boots of speed too, of course. That could be a countermeasure to the Warden's Shadow Strike, you know, that slows you down and makes you a lot less mobile. So let's see if that pays off ultimately. Like you said, Grubby, very tanky the DK right now. He did send an Acolyte to the gold mine. Of course, retreated immediately when he saw that there was a Wisp nearby. I think he just wasn't confident enough in actually pulling off a counter expansion. Now we see a quick tier 3 tech. And we've seen this last time against Longwalk, didn't we? We've seen this when VortiX just came out with this sick ghoul mass tier 3 frenzy timing, where he just gathered a bunch of ghouls, and especially when the Nightelf opponent only has a lot of archers, that could be really lethal. Quite a good timing.
They're not gonna do that this time, it seems. Lich is coming, Slaughterhouse is on the way. I would expect him to make some fiends. He does have a really large number of ghouls. Will he go for fiends? They will be helpful together with Lich to focus down dryads that might be coming, but he might just go entirely with ghouls, save all the money for other things.
Look at
you
that
might
AP, by the way, by Sonik here, denying the expansion spot.
Might not be something VortiX wants. He put the Sacrificial Skull there. 2 Sonic Wisps were there. 1 to detonate part of the Blight. And another now for an AP. It might just be a wasted investment. Sonic went with the very cool Demon Hunter second. Get Honor Burn on the field.
Yeah, we're used to seeing a lot of Naga second in this matchup, of course. Actually, for both races, if you will. Oftentimes it's a race of Nagas, so you can have the early mid-game pressure. But we see Lich and Demon Hunter, so both heroes sticking to the vanilla hero choices. Statue coming through. Now it is tier 3, so the Warden needs to be careful. Doesn't really have the greatest of items like we've seen earlier. Only the rings. No mana enhancement, no extra damage, nothing. And VortiX is moving out here with a band of ghouls. The Lich and Tau, the DK, of course, joining now as well. Needs to be careful, though, because the defenses by the Night Elves are pretty good here with the Demon Hunter. Level 2 already.
That's 1 Wisp detonated, 1 killed, 3 low. Goes for the gold mine. Another detonates on both heroes. The mana burn and another detonate. Lich is out of mana. DK, no mana pot. Frenzy is on the way. It's about 50, 60, 70% of the way done. Nice surround on the Demon Hunter. The mechanics are there. The Demon Hunter has no way to get away. Warden would have to blink towards him, give TP, and then TP out, but he's not even going to try. Demon Hunter goes down.
Is the Lich going to follow, though? There's no protection. Has to transfer the TP. That's the only way to save him right now. But maybe even if the Lich falls, it's a good enough distraction to get some more juicy unit kills. But he's getting baited maybe by these illusions. Tried to go for a couple of huntresses and maybe the drive now.
Surround
Man, these surrounds are good by VortiX. He's on fire. Talk about not needing to warm up here, coming right off the subway. And he's getting them all. The Warden relatively low on mana as well. And the surround is there. Needs to be careful, though. Those ghouls are about to all die.
He's lost 2, 3, maybe 4 ghouls soon already. Killed an Illusion Huntress, killed a Dryad. The Lich presumably back in production. It's 60% of the way there. Fiends are being made. Many ghouls are going down. There are still Moonwell, so I don't think he has a grip on these archers. And this doesn't look good for VortiX. He's 35 food. It's GG.
It's GG indeed. VortiX tried to force the deciding match here. The deciding fight, sorry. He tried to kill as much as possible because he knew otherwise, against double economy, against double bases, and Dryads incoming most importantly, he couldn't have fought back. And that is ultimately what happened here. Sonik losing the Demon Hunter, but at great cost for VortiX.
Yeah, that was... I mean, when he went for the Warden, it was a surround. And then he actually accidentally opened it. He reclosed it, but with a hurt ghoul. But then that's an 11 armor Warden that also has Blink. So Sonik was perfectly fine with that. He let himself be surrounded.
Yeah.
He didn't really care about that. So VortiX tries to do one of those, I will rely on my mechanics and like quick surprising timings that worked very easily against Long Walk. But not against Sonik. 1-0 for Sonik.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The streak is over. No longer do we have a perfect record for VortiX, who went 4-0, 4-0 in the last couple of weeks against Spiral first and then Long Walk second. Today, Sonik proves to be a whole different ball game. He is in his momentum. He's in the zone. He's playing like a madman, practicing and preparing a lot in tournaments and, of course, in the ladder. And VortiX, let's see. Maybe he's warmed up now. Maybe he's found a grip and can estimate now what what Sonik is up to. It's not over by any means. He looked good. Like, those surrounds were crisp, Grubby. And I think if only he had been a little bit earlier, perhaps, and had a little bit of a better early grip on the game, he could have certainly pulled it off.
Yeah, just backtracking, looking at the investments and the decisions VortiX made. His first plan was to creep. He did, and he got harassed. Then he moved out. But he didn't answer the question, what if Warden shows up in my Ghoul Acolyte line? What will I do then? So... that's something that's very normal to happen. And then he had to react to that. And he's doing something he doesn't want. It shows like not a very good game plan. And then his next plan was DK3, maybe expand with an Acolyte. And then he abandoned that. Then he got Boots of Speed, started walking around the map, tried to auto-attack cancel the gold mine. That didn't work either because Warden showed up, started shadow striking him. And then he just got frenzy and attacked. So normally when 4 things don't work out the way it should, and your opponent is getting a free expansion, you're expected to lose unless you do something special.
Yeah,
that's a very straightforward game, beautifully played by Sonik, more comfortable by him, and not too well thought out by VortiX.
Yeah. It's actually true. Like, he tried to pull off the expansion, then wasn't really sure what to do, pulled back the Acolyte several times. Also, I think Sonic's timing was just all really impeccable here. Like the Wisp detonates early on against the skeletons, gave him a lot of extra momentum in the early game experience-wise. And of course, shut down any scouts, any creeping momentum there as well for VortiX. So Sonik just really on point, and VortiX unusually inefficient in what he did. Not really sure what he was going to do here. But now we're going to Northern Isles, VortiX's first loser map choice. And let's see if the reigning champion from Spain can recover and come back a little bit more, you know, decisively. There is many strategies, of course, in his repertoire. Like we said, the Undead players can be very flexible here. We see Mass Gargs, we see DK fast expansion from VortiX, Mass Ghouls, Fiends, of course, always an option. Happy will certainly attest to that. So yeah, let's see what he's going for.
It should be noticed that Sonik is extremely happy to be playing in the Fight Night here.
Yes.
He started by asking me on ladder, he messaged Kendric, he was tweeting, I'd love to play in the Fight Night. And we do respect a player's very big motivation to play in a setting like this. We like to see that. So he's here, he's living his dream. The match was starting. He's again like, thanks for having me in the Fight Night. Sonik is streaming this as well, and he's very motivated for it. I'm sure he'd love to put up a similar result as what VortiX has done, maybe even exceed it.
Yeah.
So I expect nothing less than an attempt for a 4-0 here. Sonik now is opening with the Keeper of the Grove on Northern Isles. A hero switch up already.
Yeah, Keeper of the Grove is always a little bit of a disputable decision, I think, these days. There's a lot of people who don't like him that much anymore. A lot of people say that just other options usually outshine him, whether you go for Demon Hunter, Warden, depending, of course, on the matchup. But what is your take, Grubby, on the Keeper of the Grove right now? Not necessarily just against Undead, but in general.
Yeah, I think in general, Keeper is still a hero that can make plays defensively. And that means that Keeper is an expansion enabler. He's a mass unit enabler.
Yeah.
And I think when you have a map that is quite difficult, like Northern Isles, which is kind of an Undead home map, playing a style that allows you to get ahead thanks to economic advantage is nice. Because if you're not getting an economic advantage and you're just playing, okay, let's just both creep half of the map, Undead has Unholy Aura, so they can actually get around the map quicker. You don't have that as a Nightelf. There's too many creeps to actually secure a mid-game expansion, because mid-game expansions are not very punitive. They're easier to respond to. By the mid-game, people have more options to respond to it, do like a special kind of timing attack. So the earlier you expand on large creep maps, the more creeps you deny your opponent, because they are not now forced to quickly respond to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So these really threatening maps like Turtle Rock, Northern Isles, that is just swarming with creeps. The disadvantaged race typically tries to do something very decisive very early on. So it's either like an all-in, like we see Foggy against Happy on Twisted Meadows with APs, Ancient Protector Rush, or it's a quick expansion. In this case, we actually see VortiX trying to fast expand. Wisp shows up, tries to detonate the skeletons. VortiX dodges, but he does remove some of the blight. Creep goes to VortiX, nicely controlled, and he's got 2 cigarettes coming before the blight got dispelled.
Yeah. This is really nice. He also really lovely had a good timing on his skeletons this time when the Wisp dispelled a whole bunch of stuff there. So he got 2 new ones, which certainly helped quite a bit against these Treants early on. He also got the item, which is the Ring of Regeneration, and that can be such an important item, especially in the last game. That would have certainly helped him out quite a bit against the Warden harass and the damage that the DK kept taking. And now we see the Keeper of the Grove marching into the base. Ooh, a 4 Ghoul Surround was attempted here by VortiX, but didn't get it through this time.
Yeah, funny fact, diamond surrounds are possible in WarCraft 3, northeast, southwest, because of the way that the hidden unit pathing grid works. But northeast and northwest and southeast, southwest, that kind of hex does not work. So the ghouls were just like not in the right spot. He needed to adapt each ghoul's position one by one. And as he was working on it, Sonic's eye looked at this situation again. He's like, oh, no, no, no. He killed the ghoul with the entangle, now shows up at the expansion. There's 2 Nerubian towers coming.
Yeah.
Sonik only has archers and Keeper with almost no mana. He's teching and he's counter expanding. So Sonik will not be able to break this expansion.
No, definitely not. This time this expansion goes through. He even goes for 2 Nerubian towers to make this ultra safe. And the first one goes through right now, so the keeper needs to tread very carefully here. And I like this positioning by Vortex of the second ziggurat, because that closes pretty much the entire choke point here. So whenever the keeper tries to run past now, this second ziggurat should be able to hit him. Mantle, Cloak of Shadows, of course, was used here, but the dust ready again. Tangles this Acolyte, takes a lot of damage in the process.
Yeah, like he takes 8 auto attacks on his keeper while trading equal mana, 75 for 75. So basically, he just lost 8 auto attacks of health on his keeper. And while Death Knight will also lose some mana, the keeper is going to go home. He's going to drink from his Moonwells. And the combination of health and mana is so expensive to replenish. That means all Moonwells will be empty.
Yeah.
And that kind of opens the door for Vortex to do a kind of ghoul pressure. Though I doubt he will. He now has that expansion. And he's most likely going to focus his attention on making this expansion cost as much time as possible.
Yeah. And already we can see the Graveyard being built this time around. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see a second or third Crypt coming in, depending on what he wants to do. Fiends is an option. Garrix is an option. Mass Ghouls is an option. Really cool little gimmick detail here that we saw for Vortex. He sold Unsummoned the Altar of Darkness, so we'd get additional resources for this super early expansion, and now he's rebuilding it, of course.
Yeah, some people may be confused by that. Think of it like this. Resummoning it after unsummoning, totally you will have spent resources of 1.5 Altar of Elders, Altar of Darkness. So it's like you're making 1.5 Altar. You've got double economy now, so you can easily afford that. And because you sold the altar, you got your expansion more safely and more quickly. So it's really just an investment, not a loan.
Yeah.
It's really an investment. So it's perfectly fine to get that expand earlier and lose a bit of money because you're gonna earn that back. And, you know, having those 2 Nerubians is so key to prevent an opponent from being able to all-in you and you lose the whole thing altogether. So I would definitely unsummon. And he's remaking it now so that he can go tier 3, make a Lich. We see a second Crypt. We're not going to see Mad Frog style Mass Ghoul or Mass Gargoyle. It's going to be a very measured style, most likely, of Fiends and Obsidian statues. But Vortex was a little greedy, and he's going to pay for this. Definitely. He had no Nerubian in his main yet.
Yeah, no Nerubian. He has to build that one now. The Keeper, basically, with perfect timing, even the Owl or the Bird, whatever it is, hits before the Death Coil arrives. The auto attack definitely helping out great time. +6 with the Claws as well. And he got 2 Ghouls for free, basically. Has a Staff of Teleportation as well, of course, if things ever get a little too dicey. And now, got a couple of units quite nicely done here. The Ghouls for a run-by attack, by the way, coming in once again with the Demon Hunter second. They get another Ghoul, and they get the Entangled Gold Mine at least. But at what cost? Was that the tree actually last hitting it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the tree last hit, 1 Ghoul denied, but he kills a total of 4 and got experience for 3 of them. And now he gets the 5th Ghoul, XP for 4. So you kill 5 Ghouls, and you momentarily get your income denied. So this takes like a minute, maybe? It will take a minute longer to start mining from the expansion. So if you asked anyone, would you spend 600 gold to kill 600 gold worth of ghouls and get experience for 4 of them? They would say yes, of course. You just traded gold evenly while getting a free 160 points of experience. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. At least you got a cute Murloc creep steal there with a coil before the Demon Hunter could sap the mana away anyways. And now, of course, the DK dry as a desert. And can't really do much. The 6 mana burn actually counterproductive there. Spend more mana than he burned.
Yeah. Stonks go up for the mana exchange for Vortex.
Yep. And now the Fiends arrive, Grubby. Double Crypt, tier 3, almost here.
Yeah. Yeah, we have 6 Ghouls mining lumber. We have Fiend attack upgrades coming. Vortex currently has 2 lumber, 42. He's going to get Ghouls entangled again, and he's going to use them potentially for defense as well. Oh, but the Keeper gets surrounded. He does have a Staff of Teleport, so he's probably going to kill 1 Ghoul and then hightail it out of here. Maybe 2 Ghouls, actually.
Oh, Sonik, we know his style, of course. Aggressive as can be, and now teleports out. But with that entangle, it might be enough to just get that one last Ghoul. Of course, Unholy Ground gives a little bit of extra regen, but it's not enough. The Tangles claim another life. Now the Fiend's, of course, in the mix. Lich in here as well. He needs to creep that second hero up as fast as possible. Sonik has an advantage in this one. Once again, the Demon Hunter, level 2 already, and with that Null Camp, he might actually get very close to level 3, but he realizes that his opponent is somewhat close. The Ankh of Reincarnation is being dragged in by VortiX just in time, but this, he could actually use it right now, if he wants to.
I don't think he should want to, because he only... Oh, he does. You should only use items to prolong your stay, to save yourself, if you like the stay. But he clearly doesn't like the stay. He also loses Lich, and he also still ends up TPing out. So it's really a misjudgment to prolong your stay using big consumables and rebuying TP, because it's not like he can rebuy Greater Heal now. Yep. TP was like the most forgettable item, the most sacrificable. And he's just like, well, my DK is low, I'm going to heal it. It's not really good planning, unfortunately for him. And the keeper is now, with no Dispel in the field, can basically kill anything he looks at.
Yeah, and that was beautifully played by Sonik on the one hand, but I also agree that VortiX looked a little bit panicked there. Like, he drove the Death Knight to the right-hand side, wasn't really sure. He should have used the TP, like you said, earlier, or the consumable earlier, and then he switched focus immediately on the Lich that was exposed, and there was no mana. So far away, the DK couldn't transfer any items to him anymore, the Ankh or the TP, whatever works there. So really just nice combat control by Sonik.
Also, Sonik went over 50 food immediately. He was on his way to tier 3. Bunch of archer, bunch of dryads.
The Sobi mask.
That's pretty good. Better take it.
Pick it up.
He went over 50 food immediately. 52 food. Oh, he didn't take the Sobi.
No.
Didn't Sonik lose a game like this against... No, it was Foggy lost a game like this against Happy after giving Sobi.
All right. So far, he smells his chance, though. He's going in for the creep jack onto VortiX, who's still kind of licking his wounds there from earlier. Now level 2, though, on the Lich is certainly helping out. Frost armor, great, but the Fiends are getting absolutely mauled by those bears and the creeps alike, though. Entangle is rattling through one after the other. Can he get a bear, though? No Staff of Preservation so far. Gets another Fiend for his efforts, though. And slowly but surely, these two players are taking great damage. Another Fiend is about to fall if Demon Hunter switches aggro, but another bear falls as well. Bloody victims, bloody casualties on both sides here, really. It's another ride. That's pretty good. Actually, VortiX did a lot better than I thought he would.
True. That is true. He did lose maybe 6 Fiends, I want to say.
Which is pretty bad under these circumstances, yeah.
That is bad. But he also killed 4 bears. A Dryad and maybe an Archer. So it was almost like pretty even. The Nightelf heroes are getting quite high. We have Keeper nearly level 5. So let's start planning for the late game. If Keeper gets level 6, that gives him Tranquility, which is really nice. It's an amazing spell, but it is interruptible by Silence from a Dark Ranger. So VortiX can pick up a 3rd hero still. He's flexing what hero he wants. As soon as Keeper gets 6, for sure you will see him pick up either Tinker with Rockets or Dark Ranger with Silence. As for Demon Hunter, if he ever gets level 6, that's going to be insane.
Yeah. Oh, and Sonik, he sees the Fiend rally point. He knows exactly where his opponent is. He catches it, of course, with an Entangle. But thankfully for VortiX, he was able to finish the camp. He got a Hood of Cunning, not the best what he wanted.
No TP still for VortiX, so he couldn't pull out of the last fight. He can't pull out of this one. He's on the run with Unholy Aura level 2, trying to get away. Keeper going around the left side, has Entangle, maybe to cut off VortiX. 1 Destroyer to interrupt the Entangle. Will he do it instantly? There we go with the Devour. Fiend starts running, and return Focus Fire on the bears.
The bears now need to be careful. 2 destroyers up in the air. 1 has devoured and has extra damage now coming through. But overall, I think the Night Elven forces are just too plentiful. They're too many. They're outnumbered the Undeads quite a bit, and the bears are in the middle of the Fiends right now.
There are 2 destroyers. They deal a lot of damage on the bears. Destroyer with 45 life, 15 life. Archers gun it down. 2nd destroyer getting attacked by Orb of Venom, Demon Hunter, Keeper. 2 archers and a Dryad. Destroyer going down. Can he make it over the forest? Destroyer running also goes down. VortiX did not choose an attack near the forest like Undead sometimes try to do with destroyers so they can pull out of vision. Demon Hunter running down Fiends, archers hiding even. VortiX calls GG. He's 50 food against 61 food, and he calls GG already. I'm sorry, but that feels early. Despite the situation, There's no entangle. He could still run away with his heroes. He could still try to have a chance. It feels early.
The hero levels, they looked a little bit vicious there, and it felt really like the Undead player couldn't fight with all of his tools to his full extent because that Demon Hunter, because of the mana that always had to be used. The Demon Hunter really, as a second hero so far, paying off very greatly. It toys with your opponent's mind sometimes when you have that Demon Hunter on the enemy side. You tend to have a little bit of a loose grip on your abilities when creeping, right? Because you're like, if the Demon Hunter sees me, he's going to burn me anyway, so I might as well just use them. So one way or the other, you're always low on mana, and that's not ideally the situation an Undead player wants to be in.
I think Sonik plays so aggressive. He creepjacks you on every camp. He uses Ultra Vision. He uses night timing, Wisp scouting. He's a fast player. He's aggressive, and he always smells blood in the water, even if there is none. So if there is none, that shark's going to get you for sure. And it feels so frustrating to constantly be creepjacked, to constantly lose units, to be bleeding out. And I think a large part of that is a mental victory from Sonik over VortiX. It feels early to us, the neutral observers. But Sonik, let's not make any doubt, he was ahead. He left, like you said, VortiX with no mana on any of his heroes whatsoever. And VortiX has almost nothing left to creep in the semicircle around his main base. So in order to ever get any value on the map, he would have to venture ever further outwards. And he couldn't see a way over that hill. I think it was still potentially winnable, but it would have been a really big uphill battle. Sonik with a deserved 2-1 advantage, now going into map 3 on Amazonia.
The Ukrainian powerhouse, the Davai machine. We all know him, and many of us love him. And he is certainly on a great path to dethroning our reigning 4-2-0 back-to-back champion Vortex. Can the Spanish Undead now recover? It seems like he's not really in his zone yet, but Sonik plays exceptionally well, smelling every weakness and being on the map where he needs to be. That's really impressive. Like, his positioning, his map awareness is so good.
See if we're going to see a third new starting hero. This is a real Demon Hunter map. And it's going to be Keeper again, actually. He really likes how that felt last game.
Yeah. I had my doubts when I saw the Keeper. I'm just personally not a big fan of him that much anymore. But he made it work, you know, whether it was killing ghouls in the base early on, not overstaying his welcome, great harass. But I really think almost the superstar of Sonic's game plan so far was that Demon Hunter second. I really think it works out great against VortiX so far.
The thing is, though, if you just play Keeper Demon and then you go Creep both, it's so much worse not to have a Panda, an Alchemist, or a kind of Warden Naga, something that scales well, that gets really high damage right from the start of a fight, very bursty. Demon Hunter is a hero that you constantly need to use. The entire game you need to keep someone's health and mana at a low count, especially their mana. You want to creepjack constantly. You want to make use of the tankiness of the Demon Hunter with evasion, his high armor class, and removing the damage ability of the opponent with mana burn. You want to make use of that all the time, and then make use of your Moonwells, and then do it again and again. So this is exactly Sonic's style. So it's perfect, you know, that's Demon Hunter second. But it's not for everyone, I think.
Yeah. And
the Ace of the War's gonna die!
Oh, no, that's terrible.
And there's a Ghoul Rush coming!
Ring of Protection as well, not the best item. Maybe against the surround it helps you a little bit, but the Ghoul Rush is here, and VortiX knows what's happening. He knew exactly. Nice steal with a coil here, by the way. Because of that Acolyte, he knew exactly in what poor condition his opponent was right there. And the AOW is no more. That means no Archer reinforcements. The Ghoul hordes, the Scourge is in the middle of Sonic's base, and what can he really do to defend against that?
Why is he not remaking one Ancient of War, or 2, or 3, or 4? There's wisps everywhere. I'm gonna call it right now. If Sonic somehow wins this game, it's going to be a 4-0 for sure. Yeah. Because this is an absolutely terrible start. We have a second crypt in production. VortiX is the one that smells blood in the water right now.
Oh, the Ghoul was saved there by the coil, buying so much extra time. More skeletons are coming through. The wisps are not connecting as efficiently like the times before now. And I like what VortiX is doing, attacking several targets at the same time. Almost every wisp that was on Lumber has been detonated. or evacuated out of that base. So income-wise, Sonik is looking in a really rough spot now right now. Might lose another Wisp here. DK, by the way, 1.5 just off enemy unit kills. And maybe one creep that he stole, but he's looking so good right now.
Yep. That Wisp died. Didn't get to detonate on the skeletons. Keeper is gonna get surrounded. It's surrounded.
He's surrounded. 3 units are enough in that little choke point. He did get some Treants up in here as well, but they locked him in as well. 1 ghoul died now. No more mana on the DK to save that fella. But yeah, of course, there will be reinforcements, Grubby. You said it. Double crypt reinforcements are roaming all over the map here. We can see them coming in. And the Keeper, what can he do? Relatively low on mana, and the Moon Juice is close to depleted.
He can do 22 to 28 damage per auto attack, so long as his health is 1 or higher. That's pretty much his role right now. More ghouls are swarming in, double crypt. Backpack upgrade is getting resurged, and Vortex is at 1 lumber. It's like he's done this build before.
Yep. He knows exactly how much he can invest. And the backpack, of course, great to get additional rods in for more skeletons. But of course, there are actually not that many corpses to get skeletons from right now. The wisps don't drop any. There's 1 corpse over here. Now the AOW is here. Cannot really build anything as it seems right now, because he needs the defense for a little bit of extra damage against the ghouls.
Yeah.
And oh man, if that Keeper gets surrounded somehow, some way.
But Kendric, 4 Moonwells, 4 Moonwells actually. One still has mana. An Ancient of War is finished. Shop is coming. There's still enough money for more Ancient of War, and I really feel like Sonik, he's scouting now. He's scouting. He sees 2 crypt. He needs to just throw up a bunch of Ancient of Wars right now. He can get a Shredder from the laboratory. I think Sonik might actually be holding this. The shop is finishing. He has a Wisp to buy a Shredder, though he doesn't have the presence of mind right now to get it.
Yeah. I mean, 1 Moonwell goes down, but there's an Archer. The Archer, of course, the Archers are going to get hunted from bottom to top, from top to bottom. And there is really no more damage that Vortex can deal immediately into the base right now. All the Wisps has been dragged out. They're now gathering lumber somewhere else. Level 2 for the Aura. That's huge, actually. Has the dust, of course, because of Backpack. So smart. So these Archers are no longer safe. There's only 2 Moonwells right now, and they're close to empty as well. These ghouls are finding great connections right now. Shredder, Grubby. Shredder's here.
Yeah, in comes the Goblin Shredder. 600 life and a firepower. An average DPS of about 45 comes in now. Starts whacking away on ghouls. Keeper gets surrounded. He does still have a town portal.
Does have the town portal. He's trying to get more ghouls in here. He's using
Keeper
himself as a tank. Level 3.
He went for Entangle level 2 rather than Treants. Wants to make sure that every Entangle is a ghoul kill. Boom, detonate on the skeletons. Yeah, Vortex's food keeps growing, but where are all those ghouls? There's a lot of ghouls at home. They were healing, and he's trickling them in 1 by 1. Daytime is looming, though. We have a daytime of 4:30. We have 1.5 game time hours, which is about, what, 30 seconds? Till the night will stop being in effect. It means Moonwells will stop regenerating. Archers can no longer hide. It's still anyone's game here. Semi-surround on the Keeper. A semi-surround, he gets away.
He gets away, doesn't close it, doesn't have what it takes there. Now, of course, he needs a Wisp to repair that Shredder. The Shredder not only crucial to get additional lumber in for Sonik, but also a strong fighting unit. And now Daytime is about to connect as well, and that means no more hiding, no more Moonwell, and Sonik pulls it off with delay and postponing strategies. Vortex once again calls a relatively early GG, and I see the look on your face, Grubby.
Vortex has 38 food. It just got daytime. Shredder is still low. And the Moonwells are relatively empty-ish. There's still some. I mean, he had a 12 food advantage during this. And I agree that Sonik was inching towards a point where he may be able to hold. But the way I would think is I would say, let's go to 40 food proper, maybe even 50. I've had games like this. You pick up, if you can, a heal scroll, and you do 1 more big attack. Because the problem with these 5 units at a time is that you can get 20% of your units entangled. 5 ghoul, 5 ghoul, 5 ghoul. At any given point, there's a number of ghouls traveling on the map, going home, healing, not being there. If you suddenly bring all of them together, because he had more than 12, but we never saw that, right?
Yeah.
You get a heal scroll, suddenly Entangle doesn't matter as much. Suddenly you reach a tipping point where you can kill a Shredder, where you can surround the Keeper twice and kill him, even if he kills 4 ghouls. It's disappointing because I don't think it was definitely over.
Yeah.
And
I think this game was... I can understand leaving the previous game prematurely because it didn't really look that good. The heroes were getting out of control there with 4-4. His own heroes were, I think, 4-2. The Fiends got absolutely pummeled. True, he did get some bears in return, but it was just not looking good. He lost 2 destroyers. It was probably just a long struggle with a very unpleasant ending. But here, like you said, if only he had gathered the ghouls, gotten a couple of healing items there perhaps, maybe even crept for a bit and then come in with one mighty swing, that could have been really good. And it seems like something that VortiX said before the match, that he seeks this inspiration that he had in the past, is really showing here with maybe a lack of fighting spirit, really what it is. When you're 2 games down, I think you have to show better fighting spirit to make a comeback in this series.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost don't trust myself to say anything else about it because I know I have a responsibility not to assume things and say things, but I would have tried for longer. That's all I'll say about it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. We're currently on course for a back-to-back-to-back 4-0. This time, though, it looks like it is against VortiX, the 2-time champion. Let's see if he can pull it off. We're going to Echo Isles, his last and final loser choice. Echo Isles Grubby, why would an Undead pick that here?
Well, it's we're at the halfway point almost. If you look at the maps that Sonik took, he took Twisted Meadows, which is a map that can be very difficult for people to stop expansions. It's difficult to creep early game, so it's very good for aggressive players. And then Sonik took Terranus Stand, where it's a very defensive map. You can never stop Nightelf expansions there. And then Last Refuge, which is also a good map for Elf. Everything ensnares everything. Nightelf can hide, but if a ghoul gets surrounded, it's dead. You can't fast expand on Last Refuge. I really feel like it's just a process of elimination. It's not VortiX's favorite map, but yeah, it's okay.
And that's the thing about Best of 7. It makes Fight Night here in Heroes Hearth a little bit unique as well. You don't get to see that many Best of 7s. And of course, that makes sure that all the competitive maps are being open and there's no bans because all the maps need to be played. So, yeah fair enough. I'll take that.
Sonik had success with the Keeper. He's going to go back to the Warden for the 4th map.
Nice. So far, not a single Demon Hunter first. We've seen him second several times now. But
which Foggy always does, right? His countrymate.
Yeah. All right, so the 2 workers, they shake hands in the middle. And let's see, goes in...
It's got to shake hands. More like a face slap.
Yeah, true, Wits don't have hands. my bad.
They can't attack. They're very extreme. It's either just look at you or they just explode all over you. There's no in between.
A player's forces are under attack.
Okay. DK coming out. This time a little bit quicker than the previous game. And the Warden, though, goes yet again for an early creep. Of course, you want to have that level 2 for the blink if the situation arises. We sometimes see Fan of Knives. Super good, of course, against a large variety of units. Or a large quantity, I should say. But Shadow Strike it is, and he did it exactly the same way in the first game. He used it on the Acolyte, no chance for the worker to get away. He just wants to make sure there's no scouting information, there's no last hitting, no nothing, and just waltzes the man right in him.
Ancient of War on the opposite side of where people generally travel, in order to power up a marketplace creeping route. This is very common with Warden. I don't know if races detonate on self, cost him 50 mana, but he does get the 24 experience.
And good thing the Death Knight wasn't hit by it, so he didn't lose any mana for it, which will be great for happy coiling. But now he goes in aggressively again. 4 ghouls and the DK. This time not against the Keeper, who cannot summon reinforcements, but against the Warden. And she's hunting down that Death Knight. She realizes that if you cut off the head of the Hydra, she cannot really do much. Well, a Hydra probably could. I should have said Snake.
Yeah,
Hydra has 5 more.
Do a lot. Having fought some, I can attest to that. Now, any detonate on any skeleton means Warden is level 2. Doesn't have a lot of mana anymore, and Death Knight is running quite far back. Maybe too far. I mean, the Warden stopped chasing for a bit already.
Yep.
But kind of Goal Rush, I feel like, is very powerful against Warden. If you just think about how Concealed Hill went, Warden got to creep to level 2.9 uncontested while putting pressure and while putting up a 21 food expansion.
Yeah.
That's pretty much unforgivable, impermissible. Now you're making Warden slow down a lot. Making sure that Warden doesn't get to tier 2 too quickly is denying her experience. It's removing those problematic units like Dryads. So you definitely want to open like this. She's not as tanky and damaging as a Demon Hunter, purely powered off of Moonwells. She needs mana, and you can expend her mana. It suddenly becomes a lot more predictable how much pressure you can put. This is a 2-crypt build, Kendric, against Warden, and it's probably a little stronger than against Keeper. Ranged heroes are very powerful at defending moments like this. So this is a strong attack.
Yeah, I think he missed the dust, though. He probably expected some of the archers to be lingering there, and of course that means he's completely dry. An unintentional body block by the archer was just passing through, allows a couple of more auto attacks against the DK, who's running for his bare life right now. And once again, Sonik is holding on very nicely here, constantly microing these archers back to his main building, so the mighty Tree of Life gets a good old smack up in here. The coil misses as well. Nothing seems to be working for Vortex right now. His DK cannot be part of the fight anymore. He's losing ghoul after ghoul, and the game is over, Grubby. 4-0. The king has been dethroned by our flamboyant Sonik. And whenever I read Sonik, it makes me think back to the good old Heroes of a Storm time, Sonik the Beast. And Sonik was quite the beast today.
Yes, he definitely was. He did Vortex like Vortex did Long Walk. Under an hour, just under an hour, 4-0.
Yep. That was just like, you know, Sonik said, not only am I going to take your title, I'm also going to take your record.
And your money. First thing Sonik says, who sent price?
Did he say that?
Yeah, Sonik wrote in Discord, who sent price?
I think Vortex did on a silver platter.
He's so efficient, he's already given us his PayPal.
So that's the Sonik for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to all of you, like Knoff, for example, who came in a little late to the party, you know, probably were like, it's a best of 7, it's Grubby and Kendrick, you know, they can stall it out a little, they're going to be all right, and I'm going to join in when it's best. Yeah, not today, though. Not today. And speaking of Knoff, though, remember when we met each other at the gym last week? We talked about a certain player from Sweden that might be up to the task as a new potential challenger. Can you guess who it is?
No.
Well, I have to double check in with him and Knoff.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Maybe thorzain might be up for it.
Because Sonik is very strong, and we can't have another 40-minute series.
No, we need to make sure that whoever we choose, whether it's a Swede or not, they need to be in good condition, man, to deal with Sonic's raw aggression. Yeah,
Vortex might be in good condition later this year, and he was earlier this year, but he was not today, which is a little disappointing. But we need to find someone good because Sonik was very strong.
Yeah. Depending on how busy he is at the moment, thorzain, the Godzain, might be a strong choice. There is, of course, several other players that we can fall back on. And if you guys have a personal favorite, you can always let us know, whether it's in Twitch chat right now, whether it's on Twitter, on the YouTube channel, in the comments, when this VOD goes live. You can always let us know which player you would like to see here. There's really no limitations. Yeah, except for the race, I guess, because we probably aren't going to take another Nightelf. We had 2 in a row now.
Sonik said 40 minutes for best of 7, and then he did this face.
Yeah.
And then he said, it's so lol. And then he did 15 Russian smileys without eyes, like 15 chins. Sorry, that's so fast. No viewers watch. Like, most viewers would feel like the rug was pulled out from under them. They're like, I'm just going to get some buttered scones and set the kettle, make some tea, and I'll join in after the first map. Nope, it's over. Well, it's going to be on YouTube. Yep. You can check out the link in the chat for the Heroes Hearth YouTube. We will do our best to find an opponent that is a better challenge for Sonik in 2 weeks from now.
Yes, sir. That's what we're going to do. Guys, we still thank you all so much for tuning in and being good sports in chat. I can't remember the chat having such a good time in a while. So thanks, guys, for watching in. This was a quickie. Grubby and I will be back in 2 weeks. And of course, on the YouTube channel, we will have more Grubby footage. We will have more videos of all sorts. The VODs are coming through. The Back to WarCraft Fight Night Asia, of course, was postponed last time because of technical difficulties with a new patch and disconnects and all that stuff that we had. But of course, the match is postponed. I think it was Remind against Michael, formerly known as Lucifer. Really cool matchup that you definitely don't want to miss. So guys, leave us a follow here on the channel. Check us out on YouTube, on the social medias. And see you guys again in 2 weeks.
See you then.